Hello, my dear friends. So, welcome to the logic building brainstorming lecture number 5. So, in the previous lecture, we have solved the problems of LCM and HCF. Now, in this session, we will try to do more brainstorming. Okay, again, I am going to tell you, you just have to think for the logic. Main purpose of this session is to just develop the thinking ability, how we are going to think for a problem, not how to write the code, because coding we are going to learn in the later lectures, but here I will write the code. If you understand the code, it's okay, but the main purpose of these sessions is that we should be aware about the logics. Okay, so we are going to start our session with the question, check for the prime number. Okay, so what is prime number? We know that prime number is the number that is divisible by 1 or by itself. Okay, so if I give in output 13, so you have to return whether it is a prime number or not. Okay, so 13, we know that 13 is divisible by 1 and 13. So yes, it is a prime number. So we need to return true. If I ask you that if n is equal to 14, can you tell me whether it is a prime or not? So you are going to say no, it is not a prime because it is divisible by 2, it is divisible by 7, okay, other than 1 and 14. Okay, so we need to return the value as false. If I ask you for the if n is equal to 101, what you are going to say? That 101 is divisible by only 1 and itself. So here we need to return the value as true. I hope the question is clear to you now. Now pause the video for a minute and think for a logic that how you are going to approach for this problem. Okay, so one thing that clicked to my mind is, suppose if we are checking for n is equal to 13. So what we can do is we can start from n is equal to 2. Okay, what we can do? We can start from I is equal to 2 and we are going to check whether this 13 divided by 2 equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, it means the remainder is 0. Okay, then what we can do, we can check for 3, then we can check for 4 and we can check till 12. If we are not going to get value equals to 0, it means the remainder is not equals to 0. And suppose okay, so this is the one of the approach that what you can do is you can traverse from 2 to 13, okay, 2 to 12, one number less than the given number, and if the number is not divisible by any of the given number in the range, it means that number is not prime. So this is the one of the approach that should click on your mind to check whether a number is a prime number or not. Okay, but you have to check for each numbers. Okay, you have to check whether the remainder is 0 or not. If the remainder is 0, it means that number is completely divisible. Okay, so as you can see on the left hand side, I have written the code for I in range from 2 to n. So basically how this range function will work, here 2 is included and there is open bracket on n. Okay, range function work like this. So whenever you write range 2 to n, it means 2 is included but n is not included. Okay, it means it is 2 to n minus 1 close bracket, or you can write close bracket 2 to an open bracket on n. Okay, this is the thing. So here we started, what is the n value? N value was 13. So it will check for 2 whether it is equal to 0. No. If the if condition is not true, it will not go inside the loop. So it will check for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And when this loop ends, what it will do? It will return the true. Suppose instead of n is equal to 12, if n equal to 14. Okay, and it will enter in the loop if 14 divide percentage 2 equal to 0. So what is 14 percentage 2? 0. So 0 equal to 0, this condition will become true and we will come out of the loop and we will be returning false. Okay, so this is the one of the approach. Now in this approach, what you have done, you have started to traversing from 2 and you traverse to n minus 1. So I can say that the time complexity will be theta of n, because you are traversing entire numbers that are present between those numbers. Plus minus 1 plus minus 2 doesn't affect, the range will be theta of n. Okay, so now if I say you try to optimize this solution, now how are you going to optimize this solution? It means that if I give you a very big number 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9, suppose this much big number I give you, Now what you will do, you in this approach you will start from 2, then 3, then 4, and you have to check 1 2 7 4 8 8 till this number you will divide and check. So it will take a lot of time. Okay, so interviewer, what will the interviewer say? Try to optimize this approach. Try to write one solution which will take less number of time. Means it should not be theta of n, because when the number is very big, this approach is not going to give the solution in very fast, or I can say in a appropriate time period. Okay, so pause the video for 1 minute and try to think, try to optimize this solution. Okay, so I think you have tried to think for a solution. Now if you get, it's good, but if you don't get, just focus here. What, so if we take the example of 15, so what are the divisors of 15? So if I ask 15 divisors, so divisors always come in pair. So one will be 1 into 15, other one will be 3 into 5. So divisors of 15 are like this. Okay, if I ask you divisor of 12, so what they are? 1 into 12, 2 into 6, and 3 into 4. These are the divisors of the number 12. Now if you are going to observe one thing, let's say this is I, smaller number is, let's say, I. Okay, so if you are going to see, 1 square is less than n. Okay, means 1 square is less than 15. Yes, it's correct. 3 square, what is 3 square? 9 is less than 15. Yes, it's correct. Okay, now let us move to the next example. Here, what is the value of n? N value is 12 in this case. So again let us check. 1 square is less than 12. Yes, it's correct. 2 square is less than 12. Yes, it's correct, because 2 square is 4. If I ask you 3 square, is it less than 12? Yes. So 9 is less than 12. So we got one thing, that I square is less than n. I square is less than n. It means, first of all, what are the two things? That divisors always occur in pair, and the smaller value will be always less than the, if you are going to do you can write like this also, I square is less than n, then I will be less than under root of n. Means what I have done, I have taken root of both the side. It means you can say that if the number, if the divisors, first of all divisor is coming in the pair, right, and the smaller number in the divisor is always less than the root of n, or in other words I can say that square of smaller divisor is less than the n. Okay, this condition is true. Got it? Now try to pause the video and now try to think for the solution. Means the things, the information I have given you, by this information how you can build a solution and how you can find the prime numbers. Okay, pause video for a minute and then try to think of a solution. Okay, so I hope you have got the solutions, or if you didn't got the solution, I will explain. Okay, so let us try to see the code for n is equal to 37. So we know that n is equal to, we need to check whether the number is prime or not. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to check for n is equal to 2. Okay, so this is the code. So here it will check whether n is equal to 1. No, our n is equal to 37. Then what is I value is 2 now. I value is 2. Now what I will do, I will check if I into I. So what is 2 into 2? 2 into 2 will be 4. Is it less than 37? Yes, it's less than 37. So what I will do, I will check whether 37 is divisible by 2 or not. So we know that if you are going to divide 30, if 37% 2 will be 1, because remainder is going to be 1. So here it will, this condition will not be true, and we will come out of this if condition, and I will increase. So I value will become 3 this time. Now we will check for 3 into 3. So what we have done, 9 is less than 37. Yes. Then what we will do, we are going to divide 37% 3. We are going to get value as 1. So 1 is not equal to 0. I will increase. So what will be the value of I? I will become 4. So again 16 is less than 37. Then we will check and we will not get that it is not divisible by 34. So I will become 5. So 5 into 5, 25. 25 is still less than 37. Okay. then I equals to 6, then we will check for 6 into 6, 36. 36 is still less than 37, and if you are going to find the remainder, you are going to get value as 1. Then I will become 7. So 7 into 7, 49. So 49 is not less than 37. It means we are not going to enter in this while loop, and we will come out of the while loop and we will return the true. So what you got from this approach? That to check for n is equal to 37, what we have done, we have checked for 2, we have checked for 3, checked for 4, 5 and 6. Only 5 checkings we have done for the number n is equal to 37. It means earlier we were doing 36 checks. Okay, if starting from 2 to 36, how many checking we were doing? 35. Now that is changed to just 5. Why? Because because the concept is that if a number is if a number have a divisor, it always occur in pair. Okay, it means what will be the divisor of 37? It is 1 into 37 only. Okay, if there are more divisor, let's say 36. So what are the divisor? 1 into 36, 2 into 18. So if there are more divisors, you will get a value which is less than the square root of that number. Okay, it means if for example, if 37 is there, it means you will get the I in the range of 1 to 6.666, something like this. If you are going to divide this, it will be 5 point something something. Okay, 6 square is 36. Okay, 6.23 something. So solution must be between 2 to 6.23. Okay, so you don't have to check for all the numbers. Suppose if we get a number, if n is equal to 131. Okay, suppose if we get n is equal to 131. So in previous approach, what you will do, you will start from 2 and you need to check till 130. But let's see how many iterations we do with the above approach. So first of all, here is the is prime. So it will check whether the number is prime or not. Sorry, whether number is n equal to 1 or not. It's not 1. So what we will do? For I will become 2 this time. So I will be 2. So 4 is less than 131. Yes. So is it divisible? No. Then we will check for I is equal to 3. 9 is less than 131. Okay. Then I equal to 4. 4 is 16. Then 25. For I is equal to 5. I equals to 6. It is 36. And similarly in 10 you are going to get 100. And if I is equal to 11, you are going to get 121. So you are going to just check only 11 times. And if it is not divisible in 11, then it means the number is prime. Okay, so here our time complexity will be order of root of n. Why order of root of n? Big O of root of n. So big O of root of 36, what we have done? We have, sorry, in 37, how many times we have checked? We have checked approximately 6 times. Okay, approximate 6 times. And here also in under root of 131, so it will be big O of 11 point something something. Okay, so we have checked 11 times, so we can write that big O of root of n. So time complexity is reduced from order of n to order of root of n. Okay, this was the second approach. Now if I say you try to think of an approach we will take lesser time than the given approach. Okay, try to optimize more. Okay, so pause the video for a minute and try to think, is there any other way to solve this problem in a more optimized time? Okay, so I hope you got some approach or not. Okay, so let us focus here now. Okay, so to get more efficient approach, what we need to do, we need to write the numbers and we need to observe the things more clearly. Okay, so these are the numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Let me write numbers till 20 at least. Okay, so then we will observe the numbers and try to find some pattern. Okay, 23 24 25 26 30. Okay, 27 28 29 30. So what are the prime numbers? So I am going to highlight the prime numbers. 2 is a prime, 3 is a prime, 5 is a prime, 7 is a prime. Then we have 11 is a prime, 13 is a prime, and then 17 is a prime, and 19 is a prime, then 23 is a prime, 23 is a prime, then we need to find 29 is a prime. Okay, so these are the prime numbers. Okay, so we know that 1 is neither prime neither composite. Okay, so we are not going to deal with 1. So if there is equal to 1, we need to return that it is false, it is not a prime number. Now if we are going to observe, we have only one prime number which is even. There is no other even prime numbers, or as you can see that 4 is not a prime. Okay, so we have only one even prime number, that is 2. So this is the first of the observation that we have done. It means we can check that if the number is even, it is not a prime other than 2. One observation is this. Now if we are going to see, so once 3 is come, then there is no multiple of 3. Means 6 is not there, 9 is not there, 12 is not there, 15 is not there, 18 is not there, 21 is not there, 24 is not there, 27 is not there, 13 is not, 30 is not there. Okay, we checked for, okay, and as 2 is present, it means all the even numbers are also cancelled out. So this is cancelled out, 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 this is cancelled out. It means, first of all, we have what we have done. This was the observation. Only even number that is prime is 2. So if n percentage 2, what we have to do, that number should not be divisible by 2 and 3, because all the numbers that are divisible by 2 and 3, we are sure that they are not going to be prime number. So you can write like this: check for 2 and 3, check for 2 and 3. Okay, directly check for 2 and 3. Suppose a number is given 121. So ultimately we are going to start with 2, 3. They are going to check. But so 2, 3, then we were checking 4, 5, 6, like this we were checking. Okay, but this time what we will do? We will separately check for 2 and 3, because we need to reduce the number of checkings. So we will separately check for 2 and 3. Okay, now observe one pattern. 5 and 7, these are the prime numbers which are in the gap of 2. Okay, next prime number is 11 and 13. They are in the gap of 1. Okay, next prime number is 17 and 19. They are in the gap of again 1. Okay, like this. And if we are going to observe the thing, if we are going to write 31 here, so 31 is also a prime number. They are going to be in the pairs. Okay, so this pattern just got broke here, 23 and 25. Okay, 25 is not a prime number. This pattern got broke here. So one observation is this, that if there are prime numbers, then they are going to be I and I plus 2. This is the second observation that we have done. Now let us do one more observation. This is the first prime number that we have got. So after how many times we have got the second prime number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so suppose if we are standing here, then standing here you can check both for this, then don't check for these numbers that are present between. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to increase your I by 6. Okay, so once you reach here, what you do? Check for 11 and 13 and then directly jump plus 6. Okay, so and you will reach the 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then check for 17 and 19. From 17 what you do? Do the jump of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then coming to 23, what you do? Check for 23 and 25, then take a jump of again 6. Okay, so from here to here there is a jump of 6. So last time what we were doing? We were checking for 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, 6 till under root of n, till I square is less than n. This was the condition. Now with the same condition, what we will do? We will what we were doing in the last approach, I was increasing by 1. But now what will, in our approach, what we will do? I will increase by 6. So it will reduce more iteration. Okay, it will try to find the solution more easily. Okay, so let us see how we are going to find the solution. So this is the code that we have to see. Okay, so If n equal to 1, we will return false because we know that 1 is neither prime nor composite. Okay, if n equal to 2 or 3, we know that 2 and 3 are prime numbers, so we have to take care of them separately and we will return that true. Then what I told you, we will check if the numbers are divisible by 2 or 3. What we will do, we will directly return the false. It means 4 is cancelled out, 6 is cancelled out, 8, 9, 10, all the numbers are cancelled out. Then what we will do, we will start with 5. And that again I will check for our condition, the previous condition, that I square should be less than n. Then what I will do, n percentage I is equal to 0. So n I is 5. Okay, let's take the example of 37. I is 5. Okay, so here it will say n is not, n value is 37. So this condition will not true. This condition is also not true. Third condition is also not true. So I will become 5 now. So 25 is less than equal to 36. Okay, it will enter in the if condition. 36 percentage 5. What we are going to get? We are going to get value as 1. So 1 is not equal to 0. Okay, it will go in OR. It will check 36% as 7. Because I plus 2, I value was 5, 5 plus 2, 7. What we are going to get? We are not going to get 0. So both conditions will give false. So it will not enter in this false. What will happen? I will increase by 6. Now value was 5, 5 plus 6, 11. So 11 square will be 121. 121 is less than equal to 36. No, it will come out of this loop and it will return true. It means what it have done? It has given the solution in one check. Are you getting how fast is this? Means for n is equal to 37. In first approach we were checking 36 times. Second approach we checked for 6 times. But in third approach we have checked only for 1 time. Okay, so see how quick we have returned the solution. Okay, now let us take one more example. N is equal to 100. What example we took last time? Let us take the same example. 130. Okay, 131. 131. Correct? It will check. Is it 1? No. Is it 2 or 3? No. Is it divisible by 2? No. Is it divisible by 3? No. So I will become 5 now. Now 5 square is 25. 25 is less than 131. So it will check for 131 divided by 5 and 131 divided by 7. So in both the cases we are not going to get 0. So I will become 5 plus 6. It means 11. 121 is less than 131. Yes. It will check for 131 divided by 11. 131 divided by 13. So in both cases we are not going to get 0. So it will come out of the loop. Now I will become 11 plus 6, 17. Now 17 square is 289 and 289 is not less than 131. It means in just 2 check, it has given the solution. So in first approach, we have checked for 130 times. In second approach, what we have done? We have checked for under root of 130 times. So it was 11 times. In third approach, we have checked for only 2 times. So this is the most optimized approach for this question. Okay, I hope you got this question very clearly. I have given you very easy examples. Okay, this is the most optimized approach. Means you can say this is the super efficient approach. You cannot optimize this approach further. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. So we are going to end this lecture here only because I think we have took a very long time for this question, but this question was very important to give you overview how your code can reduce the time complexity very easily. Okay, so again, if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. I will be more than happy to clear all your doubts. If you like this course, you can share this course with your friends so that they can also learn Python very easily. And now I will try to reduce the length of the videos. I will try to make videos approximate of 25 minutes only. Okay, thank you.